We're on YouTube. Let's move right to the frivolities here from Eugene, Oregon. We present to you another installment episode, Epic Night of Poetry, brought to you by the good denizens of Eugene, Oregon, who are lunatics tonight because there's a full moon out this barn door. We're going to blast it from the master. Stephen Blue with a special presentation. Come on up, Stephen. Knock it, sock it, and rock it.
Come on.
Okay, some risk taking tonight. All right, let me get set here.
What are you doing?
Okay, so as I've said before, I'm working on a 1-hour show in support of my book, Songs of Sobriety, about recovery. And hopefully I'm going to be able to take this into institutions and recovery centers, hopefully to help and inspire those who might need it. So I just want you to know that this isn't about you. This is about me, because it doesn't matter to me what other people do as far as drinking and using drugs. It only matters what I do. That's what I'm concerned with. So you can do whatever you want. I don't care. What you do is your business, and I'm not judging.
All right, let's go.
Okay? I'm only relating inspiration based on my own experience. So take it for what you will. This is a piece from my show that I'm just started working on. So here we go. Standing here at the edge of the bar, wine glass in my hand. My eyes are red, and you can see their sadness, but I just don't understand. Why won't you come over and talk to me? I want to be a part of you. You all seem so happy, but I just don't know what to do. I got these silent, withdrawn, barroom blues again. Don't know how I can go on anymore. I think it's the end. Yes, I got these silent, withdrawn, barroom blues once again. And no matter what happens, it seems like I just can't win. Why am I here alone at the end of the bar? Think I'll have another shot. Then maybe you'll think I'm good enough. Because I sure want what you got. Why can't I just quit this drinking and get on with my life? Where is mine? Where is she? And why is everything so screwed up in my life? I got this silent, withdrawn, far so many times before. I think I'll just drink till I black out in the back of my car. And nothing will matter or hurt anymore. Barroom blues. No, I just can't win. Barroom blues.
And it costs a shit ton of money and you get STDs. Although I wouldn't know anything about either of those two issues. Sober and clean as a whistle.
27 years next week.
Wow.
I think you had your time, Steve. I'm going to do a poem now.
I will tear my shit down.
No. I'm going to do it right in front of you.
Oh, you don't want me to tear it down?
Yeah, sure. But I can do it. I will take the bullet for the next poet. Poet? What? What? The tendril pushes up from its dark hiding place. Where does life begin? At the crux of definition, we stare at the unknown horizon point. Where does fear begin? On the razor's edge of giddiness, on the sing-song of time, on the downstroke of the mighty piston. Here, she said. And the response was always yes. Yes and hallelujah. Yes, and we will dance. Yes, and we say yes to the living and no to the fear. Darkness surrounds us on battle with and finally retreats. Yes, obliterates the darkness. Yes, obliterates the darkness. And somewhere a stranger is found who says yes in return. Because I am a perfect being. And you are a perfect being too.
Yes.
Bless us this day, our daily glory. In your eyes, in the morning, in the promise of hope, the inability of my tongue to express exactly what I want to you. And yet I try, and yet I try, and yet I try, and yet I try. In the forest jungle primacy of now, I scream, you delight, we become more and more and more and more and more. My family swims mightily in me, as all do. This is where we come from. The flat of Lake Edge, the mud, the residual Darwin. One-legged, then two, we walk with knuckles on ground and reach evermore to the sky. I try to express this. I try to express this. Would be bliss, would be the end of this poem, but without further recompense, to be continued. Thanks, Stephen. That was nice. That's how us old OG stagehands do it. Yeah. We just get up there and do it. What the fuck? All right, who's next? Ryan, get up here. You got. Yeah, everyone. Poets, please use the official poet tunnel tube. Yes, very good, Ryan. All right, what's he gonna whip us out tonight? This thing. Oh, all right, go, Ryan. This time.
This is Math 002, negatives, imaginary symmetry. I want to begin an exploration, and I want to take you all with me. First, a quote. Physicists have come to realize that mathematics, when used with sufficient care, is a proven pathway to truth. Brian Green. Now we begin simply enough. I put it to you, 11 minus 2. Just tell me 9. We're doing just fine. 9. How about some more? 4 minus 4, you respond 0. All right, that's more important than you know. And there's a pattern at play. Now 7 minus 8, eh?
-1.
-1. This is where it starts to get fun. We've just discovered, together and quite naturally, the first of an infinity, laid out in reverse, balanced upon 0 like a mere universe. Maybe you've seen these negatives before. Good. This is our prelude. Keep it keen and let's continue. Now, off the top of your head, square root of 100, and you respond 10. Fantastic, friend. Can you do me another square root of 0? Your confident response, 0 again. It's all right. And we found our fulcrum again. We're just about done. Now, square root of -1. It exists, no lie, and we call that number I. We've just discovered, together and quite naturally, the first of an infinity, laid out in reverse, balanced upon 0 like a mere universe. Imaginary numbers, but these numbers are true. They exist as surely as the negatives do. They're not even the strangest of the numbers I might yet suggest. This symmetry in behavior points to a deeper truth. Negative and imaginary numbers reflected against the positive reals. And must be part of some larger truth. It is in the differences, where the symmetry is broken, that we find hints. What determines the extent? What is the math unspoken? There's more to find here, so much more to know. And I believe wholly that math is the way to go.
I believe poetry is the way to go.
Both can exist.
You have math night here at Cush. I'll do poetry. Stay out of my poetry, I'll stay out of your mouth. That shit hurt my head, man. In 4th grade, I gave up on math, and here I am. Learn your math. You don't need it when you're a poet. 0 money plus 0 money equals 0 money. That's good jive, man. That's good jive. That's good jive. Candace, come on. Conjecture? No, that is a proof, brother. I'm telling you, that's a proven proof. That is no theorem. No, I'm dead.
I promise we won't do any math. So, real quick, James asked me and Andrew to do a poem in his style. Andrew did his a couple weeks ago, and this week I'm going to do my poem in the style of James Otter. I call this one An Average Day on the Job. An average day on the job, sirens blaring, red and blue lights violating everyone's eyelids. Sure, you have always found the way the colors took turns flashing to be somewhat polite, but you can't take the time to appreciate it because there is a pissy woman screaming in your face about a ticket you just wrote her. You stare silently as she lists her reasons why she left her baby in the car in the grocery store parking lot, and all you can think about is how you're missing free donut Friday for some middle-class droning. Lots of black licorice bounce the angrier she gets, and you know she can't be that innocent of a person because nothing ever comes good from that licorice. As you leave, an egg hits the back of your squad car, dissolving itself around the window like melting butter, and you decide it sounds good to pick up a breakfast biscuit on the way back to the office. The office at noon reeks of black coffee and cigarette smoke as large, bulky officers crack jokes about baby arsonists and cats committing tax fraud. Those son of a bitches don't know how serious their jokes really are. Last week alone, you had arrested 4 chickens and a 2-year-old boy for breaking their renter's agreement. The largest office in the building is where the head chief McGibbon sings his frustrations, arias of new crime cases that have arisen, and how the fuck 12 grown men managed to burn coffee on the coffee pot 3 times a day. You yourself will never solve that mystery, but you have your suspects and are carefully planning to throw a major bitch fit the next time it happens. You don't blame McGibbons for the constant complaints. His home life has always been hard, watching his daughter take a liking to industrialized role models, crying out in the night for fictional cereal box characters instead of mom and dad. She's a smart cookie, that kid. Trusting the sugar craze your body takes you on after 4 bowls of Lucky Charms and an hour of Project Runway reruns. It's better than sex. God, you hope she doesn't know that yet, being 8 and all. The room is silent all of a sudden. You know that can't be good. McGibbons points to you and Phillips, yelling at you to head to 2020 Doors Drive for a call. Phillips sighs and grabs a handful of donuts from the little pink box before heading to your squad car. He had better be willing to share, or you will be forced to tell his wife of her husband's diabetic adulteries. Tires squeal and the smell of burning rubber reminds you of all those car-chasing action movies you love to watch on the weekends. You hope you remember to set the DVR for Fast and the Furious 23. You and Phillips arrive at the scene of a tacky Easter green painted trailer. A neighbor scuttles at you from the bushes in her pink puffy robe and her hair up in curlers, saying she heard screams and cries coming from the trailer and had called the police to check on her neighbor, Mrs. Franklin, who had been missing for a few days. You know immediately what will happen next. You and Phillips will knock on the door and get no answer. Then bust through the door like any decent cop drama and yell, "Freeze, perp!" to an empty living space, dirty and unoccupied for days. The bathroom will be locked, and as Phillips approaches to check the door, a smell of decay and rot will hit him, causing the remains of 4 donuts to splatter on the ugly-ass kitchen tile like the aftermath of a sugar binge at fat camp. You, being the manly stud cop you are, will kick the bathroom door to find the corpse of old Mrs. Franklin and say something smooth like, "What kind of sick bastard would do this?" After searching for clues, you will find some papers mentioning a hefty sum of cash to be given to a fugitive grandson. You will locate him and can his ass. He will confess to the brutal murder of his grandmother and, of course, raping her dead body. And you will get that corner cubicle in the office you always wanted. Phillips knocks on the door, and there is no answer. You bust down the door, gun drawn, and yell, "Freeze, you sick fuck!" Only to discover that the trailer is not only occupied by several people, but that these old, naked, wrinkly bodies were very much alive and currently taking refuge in central Pound Town. Phillips vomits violently on the steps of the mobile home, and you can't help but smile and nod your head with an authoritative command and close the door behind you. You take Phillips home and tell him to stop being a pussy before his wife sees him. Some people just don't have what it takes to anticipate surprises. Some people can handle the long hours, the day in, day out grind of an average day. But you are not some people. You clean your gun every night. You iron your uniform every morning. You even shine your shoes on your lunch break. You hope you didn't step and come in that trailer.
Very good James impersonation. If I might dabble myself for 15 seconds. The Easter eggs are jack-o'-lanterns! And they're coming to get me, but they're not! How do you not love James Horner? Okay. No. That was good channel. That was good channel. And you know, James does take off his shirt. That's all I'm saying. Who are we on next? Dan, you gotta follow James as Candace. Candace is James. We all follow James. He's our secret leader from Neptune. And he's doing Scary On At Cush, where you can win $20 for having the best costume. And I'm going to win $20. I guarantee you I'll be dressed up smooth.
Hey, it'll be just to see you dressed in something.
Right.
I might get scared.
Good one. That's true.
Okay, this is called A Moral Tale. He said, "It's been a waste of time." Took off his clothes, tossed his last dime into the river, and followed then, but was never seen again. He'd been a master banker once, fell off course and lost the balance, lost the wife, the kids, the perks, lost the house and behaved like a jerk. So did he drown or did he swim? Did he make it to rise again? Will he change if he did survive? He's the only one who knows if he's still alive. So what's the moral to this tale? Is it how you win or how you fail? I guess the answer we want is within, and says as much about us as it does about him. It's called Time Spent. Time wins all races, never loses a beat. As our life it displaces, tick, tick, tick. It's all over like a magic trick, so quick. And how long last the traces? Tick-tocking, born and gone, creating history, a familiar song that we can all sing along. But who's got the time to waste? Because time evaporates, and when we are done, the living remain. They must move on to dance with abandon, craziness, and style. One thing for sure, you're only here for a while, and I know it's been said again and again. The immortal dreams, life born of skin, the shifting sands of legend and belief suggest I carve these words in relief. What if I try and do something new? Thank you.
We're down into the meaty center of the reading now. Let's keep moving. Andrew, get up here. Down into the meaty center of Karen. Thanks, Dan. That was strong. Strong, Dan. Let's see what Andrew's got this week. Is he James or Andrew? The Heat Miser. Anyone? Anyone Heat Miser? Heat Miser.
Godzilla. I wrote this last week. It's called A Blaze Journey Down Time and Space to Light. These very thoughts shall sustain you only for so long. The new thought says that into the draught they go, excreted though they served you well. You should keep your bowels fresh and find yourself moved to sitting every day because of the movements inside. To stroll through frequencies off mainstream radio and into the rabbit hole down through the yellow brick road to take the red pill and hypnotized under the spell of chemical ratio, you have the locutio to articulate that what you're doing isn't necessarily socially acceptable, but it's really taking you to new places. Like back to a childhood you belonged in, but you didn't. You go to remember when people still glowed with special individual shininess. You can't reproduce them now, but you see people as people, members of the human race. They are brains and skulls stuck with their faces and the wrinkles that tell without telling they've experienced some past. And that means death is that much closer than time past, and death is a trickster. It can fool you how long you think you'll live, so don't keep living the same or you'll have no perspective to give on yourself. Live many lives to be compared with one another and let diversity create the opportunity for newness. You do not have to keep thinking the way you have before. You do not have to keep living the way you have. You can go anywhere you want, do what you want, think what you want, and should not be constricted even by an image of yourself you constructed. See the possibilities, not the statistics, because magic only happens when you least expect it. And occupy transcendent creative space and create from that place of wizardry with Oz behind the fog machine. This magic is magic, whatever magic means. Too keen to think clean, we eat memes of what's obscene. To feign unstained air, we name anything the wrong name. And the West identified the wrong name. They told you what the wrong name was. And the East identified the wrong name. They told you what the wrong name was. And you didn't quite know what the right name meant, but you knew what the wrong name was. They each gave you a name for what you are. And a paradigm to experience you in. So you live in that bin and eat your stale thoughts and subsist on that shit passing through your lips. You must be born again and again and again and again. You must be slain on your cross again and again and again and again. You must break your chains again and again. You must stand up for yourself again and again. You must learn from the past again and again. You cannot simply kill yourself but once, or be born merely once. Even in one lifetime, you shall take the hero's journey many times and return to those spaces and what you thought in them, with new thoughts, and see it all anew in lieu of what you didn't knew. and come back to that space several times in life and get all these angles and think to yourself, this must be how sacred land becomes a thing. I think I see enough angles that the people are beginning to shine again. And that means I'm starting to shine too, as everything is. For when they went out, I went out. And when they lit up, I lit up. And when we lit up, the world lit up. Not that we had lit the world, but that in realizing we are light, we could see that it was light. And we could say of anyone, the one who does this to me is light. But what came first, the darkness or the night? I don't know. But I know it is what we are made of that illuminates the night. So with our hands, we adjust our dials of chemical psychoactive frequency, intelligently designed for this. Up and down and shine our different lights and shades of height of hues to different tunes. We sing our shining and sound our glowing, which bends upon its rational mind and begs, what is light? It is wave and particle at the same time, but a particle isn't a wave and a wave isn't a particle at the same time. I heard once that God was a Trinity, 3 in 1, Father, not Son, but both God, but not 2 or 3, but 1. And I look around at the world and say, how can that look like one? Or even like it came from one. And part of the world looks to me and says, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And part of the world looks to me and says, in archei and halagos, kaialagos and proston theon kaiteas and olagas. And they saw that the world does not look like one, but proclaim duality, not oneness, the illusion. Not to the point of contradiction, but to the point of contradiction. And that represents the metaphysical problem we're all answering to ourselves, whether you understand the problem or not. You're asking about your identity in relation to identities, your nature in relation to natures, and the interplay between nature, identity, and what you wake up in the morning to. There really are enough angles on the world to keep an equal being with 10 times your brain or an equal being with negative 100 times your brain occupied for a few million years. That's just how big God is, and that's just how small you've broken yourself apart. A life, a spark, trying to jump back into the flames to become one with the fire, which it discovers is just more of what the spark already is. And I think when people believe in God, they're asking the universe for more of what they are. And God comes up a lot when doing drugs, so you do more. And watch fire worship fire-esque gods, and humans worship human-esque gods, and then sometimes humans worship fire gods, and fires worship human gods, and that is the interchangeability of frequency, is the Om resounding in our one mind. We can jump onto it and ride it into that fire and call that final flame the end, but call that final light eternal life. Thank you. I don't know if I'd be good at it. Oh my
Get
God.
on here.
I can do it. There's your own.
They're my own. They're my own. Like a nice V8 running down the highway in an American night. Guys, I don't know. Guy's got a lot of words in his brain, doesn't he? I like them words you got in your brain. Toodles. Kevin, come on up here. Kevin, you want to tell him or shall I? Hashtag Kevin. Kevin's got some news. You going to talk about that or not? Yes, he is. So Kevin's got some news. Well, not to set the stage or anything. Lo and behold, I've gone and done it. I hear the footsteps of Father Tom approach. There he is. Yay! Hashtag Kevin. All right, still going strong.
Danny's tale. Lying in bed with a broken ankle, wondering how it's going to get frisky in that condition. The door flew open. Snow from a mighty storm blew in, along with the strange woman who had served me dinner earlier. She dumped a bag of puppy chow on the floor while tossing a small dog onto my bed. Before I could get a one out, she was gone. The dog was digging back the blankets and nosing in along my flank, shivering. I laid my hand and arm across him. Within minutes, he quit shivering, let out a loud, long sigh, wet lip, and started snoring. Sleep sounded like a good thing, and I snored too. Sometimes I lose my spot.
That's all right.
Happens when you fall asleep, man.
Go for it. Take your time. Okay.
Oh yeah. Two. Woke to a long series of doggy kisses and knew unconditional love for the first time. Hashtag, the only cure for a busted ankle is to walk it out. Danny and I took 6 months to walk every street and alley on the west side, nor some gravel. He sniffed and marked while I read the people from the bizarre stuff in their backyards. Many points to ponder from what I saw. Meandering down a curveless street, he stopped short by a sunken yard. A 40-pound old bulldog and an old lady were on the porch. Something told me to unhook him. He stepped into the yard, dropping and crawling to the porch, raised his head and woofed quietly. There was an exchange of woofs. The old dog stood up and lumbered into the yard. Danny ran in slow motion in stride with the old dog. Quiet sounds of, quiet woofs back and forth in an oval around the yard. The old dog lumbered back in on the porch as the old lady stood up, tears in her eyes, and to express her joy at her old dog's giddy up. We walked on with joys of our own. Hashtag, Danny's a dog's dog. A dog he'd mellowed got into a fight. He came from 50 yards away to leap and smack their noses, landed, 2 forget about it barks, and they shook themselves and wandered off. Then there's the joy echoes, thousands plus over the years. Hashtag, joy echoes stories will take a novel. Having exhausted all options, I took Danny home for his transition. Sunday, took the shortest route to do his business. Climbed in the recliner with me and was there forever, for days. Didn't eat, drank a lot, panting all the time. Monday, ate a half can of wet dog food and then nothing. Down to 18 pounds. Tuesday, panting picked up. Wants to be next to me. I sit and stroke him a lot. He pees in the ivy by the steps, only 20 feet out of the door. That night, doggy kisses go on till our tongues are sore.
Nice.
Wednesday, panting harder, no energy, and doggy kisses are dry, cold, and few. 7:30 a.m., silence awakened me. He is gone. Hashtag having put dogs down before, I say their essence is still there. Way up McKinsey Highway and a horse ranch with taxidermy business in back, they understood essence and will display him so.
Nice. No way.
Spending, and it takes a year. But that's another story. Off to Green Hill, and there she was. Had to wait till tomorrow at 10 a.m. I was there early. Good thing, too. The two old ladies behind me wanted to adopt her, too. So we're becoming friends. Hashtag Danny to Danielle, 5 hours. How's that for being one with the Uber God?
Yeah.
Listen, observe, and serve. And from my heart, work on a good day. Namaste. And hashtag a little bit. Here's a little bit, people. Up that way.
Not gonna let me hold her back from her man. Come on, you little bitch. That's right. Welcome to the world of poetry at Cush, little dog. Old dog is not missed. He is loved. He is off in Doggyville, and he's going to be on display in hashtag Kevin's house before a year is up.
Oh my God.
I know those doggy kisses and taxidermy, man. That's heavy. That's like getting Jamesville there. Anna. What we got here? Anna, have you read here before? No, you haven't. I don't know if I can make this mic go that low. Come on, Anna. Get up here. She's bouncing, folks. Look out. There we go. Knock him down.
Most naturally occurring elements are mixtures of isotopes. A large sample of naturally occurring hydrogen atoms, for example, 99.985%, have mass number A equals 1 plutonium, and 0.015% have mass number A equals 2 deuterium. It is therefore useful to know the average, italicized, mass of the atoms in a large sample, a value called the element's atomic weight. For hydrogen, the atomic weight is 1.008 MU. Atomic weights for all elements are given inside the front cover of this book.
More math. Speak up, man. When you go, give it to us. Let's hear it.
Stephen never worried. Stephen never showed he worried. Stephen worried. Cruise the gaggle down dirt cliffs, stable moon and sun on hitch, strewn continuous hues beyond indigo. From Cali we never knew how to brew a stew. In caves we drew at night 1 or 3 candles blue, emotion into fire, into eternal matters. Back into flattering chemistry class, we learned flutters at teacher's pink. Constructed and confused why our parents bought into the deep blue. See smoke and booze, to hum winter tunes. You discontent and merriment. Blackened hooves, my sole proof of good boredom.
Do it. You got it, girl. Come on.
No handle on the Eagle Rock
Well done.
cliff. as we shifted through mist and boundaries. Considering you, I never considered, till time cared to repossess our mental eyes, never distinguished or cloaked, maybe invisibly though, cloaked as a teenage bloke. Steven never lied. Yeah, I crush on all them dudes. Steven a guy, and one little sister at babe. I never loved you, but love you. Just say it's fucking great.
Not easy getting up here in this strange cave. Is it? Good job, man. Good job. Yay! Yay! Whoa! Everyone stand up and stretch for the sky. Come on, we haven't done a second stretch in a while. Reach. Stretch out, shut the poetry reading. Oh, okay, sit down, shut up. Okay, Nick and I have an agreement. Nick's up here. He's dressed as a mutant ninja turtle, and when he said, "Can I freestyle?" I naturally worried. Nick, get up here. Yeah, you better get up here, boy. I know. And if we don't like the way this is going, we're going to clear him right off our stage.
You're gonna clear it right.
All right. So this is a game. Nick's got to hold our attention.
He's already got it.
Hey, how's it going? That's Nick.
Oh. Crazy homebum tweakers. Fucking wearing shitty sneakers. Taking you to weird crevices. Trying to smoke you out to some speed.
Boo!
That's all that you need. But you just can't get it. Because they're fucking crazy. And they're in your head. But they don't even know that they're inside of their own head. So, fuck them. That's all I have to say.
Keep going, man.
Here I thought I'd met an opponent worthy of my boo. Evidently not. Come back, Nick, and get your boo on. We're just having fun here, right? Because poetry doesn't matter, right? But the fact that we do poetry matters a lot, right? Yes, it does. Come on, Steven, get up here and make your announcement quick.
We're almost done, folks. We got 4 more poets.
Speaking of doing poetry, we have three other poetry events coming up this month. And I've got flyers on the table. There will be some out in front. Eugene Public Library, next Saturday, a basic poetry workshop. Even if you've never written, you will go away writing poetry. Candace, Saturday the 18th, Eugene Public Library, refreshments, free, lots of poets, and an open mic. Bring something to read. October 26th, Halloween reading. Me, James, Candace, Andrew, and a reggae player at the River Annex.
Okay, now
flyers, take them.
This commercial brought to you by Stephen Blue. Sean. All right, come on up. Am I not right? That's kind of a weird way of saying, am I right? Am I not right? No, you are not right. What? Okay, Sean. All right, here we go. That's what I'm talking about, right? All right, here we go. First time.
How's it going, guys?
First time.
Try to get through what we're here tonight.
Free focus on the poet on the stage.
Yay! Woo! So my first piece is called Ahamkara, which in Sanskrit means the eye maker.
Speak up, Sean.
My first piece is entitled Ahamkara, which means the eye maker in Sanskrit. My dreams have taught me but one simple conviction, that all my life have I functioned as I fiction. So much it seems a product of my diction, that I, as air, abstract and merely contradiction. A compunction that begins in smallest form, an infant who no boundaries yet reform, until I am a man, a hoarder full of storms. And then, separate, do all things become the norm, and clash and ring so different from before. You and I want to know your pain as I know no other, and yet have seen no other in what stretches outward and immutable, and in circles without circumference the vast pillars of my being. And though around the structure we instruct this, our knowing, there where the children have not yet learned to play, still the ink black immeasurable heft catches to alight our lives. In the dark night, the dark frontier of every night, I feel something of the luminal and am acquiescent to it. Always the star returns to the inward gravity of its being. I want to know your pain as I know no other to myself. Only first let us drive back the dancing eyes that do not undress, but leave us covered in our skin, and spin them back to where their blindness begins. For you and I have only just escaped yesterday, established here this thin layer beneath us, through the honeycomb lattice work of our dreams, that swell up tomorrow with this golden plight of all we have yet to be. Nothing is lost to time. The children dance, our jubilees, see not where the hours lead, or that effaced in an incarnate flash we rise and fall, or that we must by our very need learn to see, each act of furthering to be, the act of letting go of all willing to remain. A wise man once said that it was never too late to have a happy childhood, but what he forgot, or I imagine had never known, was that the beauty and bile of my youth both bought lodging at a brothel and fucked each other at cost. And the sex was good. A wise man once said that it was never too late to have a happy childhood, and so I chased the dream of dreaming things anew, and wondered if the children, they could see what we could seldom see. For we are the motivations of 1,000 clamoring voices, and so often we are but time's noggin passing through glade or cheap hotel. And you tell me it's time that I grew up. When I did, it was the death of growing, of grasping at passion and believing in dragons, and I started thinking all of my imaginary friends and having been just a means to an end. But when I got there, it was an end that I regretted having reached, for it taught me nothing as sacred as the summer is to children, for the Bible of their beings always turned to revelations. A wise man once said that it was never too late to have a happy childhood, and so we made love. And so that morning we made love to find it, gone from us and hiding naked by the shallows. And for just a moment, I knew, again, each act of furthering to be, the act of letting go of all willing to remain. And yet we begged to dance once more with knowing, and then again to soon forget that seasons always change. One more, last one. No rhymes outdated, but I'll give it a try. They twist and turn inside our minds, but never reach a place to find, beyond the page's yellowed end, beyond the bard that does descend, into the realm where time abates the very ripples that time creates. And so the fire is symbolized to embolden words and brazen lies. And if you doubt what here I say, then trouble not to sit nor stay, to listen as the story flows into this brother's deathly woes. Where to begin the story told of love and sin and time grown old? How to describe what death imbibed while tiny ants all ran to hide from sickened, shallow, holy fame, from cost and loss and righteous gain that does not fall on those who fell into the very depths of hell, as with their minds too hobbled by the sinister resounding why that keeps the brink and precipice within the tale of Oedipus, and fading from our minds the sense of force and fate and recompense. And this to make our heart decree that as it is will it always be, beyond our minds to reckon with the troubled fears and thoughts that shift. As did they shift once and for all, as one such gentle giant's call did ring our ears so suddenly, a shot through air so cunningly, that none could find his will to live, and buried him where none could give. To him the pain and cruelty formed within the hearts of fools adorned, as vultures who descend upon his youthful burning wick at dawn, to snuff his flame to feed their own, as means through greed to be atoned, for what in love they could not hold, a faith in life which had grown old, now withers here meet with loss, for wickedness that came at cost, to plead from minds and fields the sense, the finality of final intents. While from each hill we have surmised as endless to our self-made lives, the boulders that we tread between the start and finish of this dream. And still yet some forget the light and cease to know without their sight, the truth of which a circle yields, the return of these are gentle fields. And from this that which grows anew becomes the strength of I and you, together known eternally, where naught exists externally. And while a rhyme is well endowed with artfulness that oft is proud of its device for its own sake, and not for else does it thus make, no truth in life should art conceal that love itself does not reveal.
Thank you, Sean. We welcome all new voices here. Give it a try. You never know. It looks easy till you do it. Uh-oh, 3 more pause. And I hear someone stomping, clomping, coming hither, James.
I think I drank too much last night. How did I wind up tied up in this trunk? Where am I going? Is there any way for me to escape? More than anything, I did not want to wake up in the trunk of a car. Something is missing, and it's not my morning coffee and toaster strudel. My ex is pretty psycho, but this is ridiculous. I thought we had made amends. What did I do last night? I picked this woman up at the bar. I remember that much. Oh! There sure are a lot of potholes. What is she listening to on the radio? It sounds like Stairway to Heaven backwards. It smells like mold or spoiled chicken back here. I blacked out last night. I remember going home, laying in bed with a stranger. This has to be their car. This is fucked. My legs are cold and numbing out, and I'm barefoot. My toes are poking against something soft and wet. Feels like raw hamburger. What the fuck is this? How have I not been yelling or screaming this whole time? Something is missing from the picture. I can smell, but I can't taste anything. Not even the inside of my mouth. I can't feel my tongue. It's gone. It's been removed. I cry out in some garbled noise. I struggle trying to slam my head against the trunk lid. Shut up, worm! Your body is ours now. You have been chosen to join the freak squad. Chosen by who? God damn it! My arms and legs are asleep. I could barely make out what looked and sounded like Baba Yaga. My body is numb. What else is missing? I can't feel anything. There's nothing I can say or do to make this better. Fuck. My moist pink tongue. The comfort of tasting food, French kissing, conversations. It's gone. All gone. The car screeches to a halt, discombobulating me in the wet mess. The sun blinds me. What smells like a pet store full of animal shit and cat food. It's this desert. It's like a giant kitty litter box, except without the borders. I'm picked up and dropped on the ground. I can't make out the faces that grabbed me, if they even have faces. They definitely had some weird looking eyes, like 2 little mouths. From what I could tell, these arms were practically monster truck sized. Huge behemoths. I twitch, trying to feel the roof of my mouth, but there is no tongue, not even a stub. It's all calloused. How am I going to eat food? That woman with long It's that woman with the long strawberry blonde looking hair. I remember her. Either that or it's just blood stained. She's wearing a stitched rawhide leather corset, laughing really, really hard. I can't even tell. I think one of my eyes just went blind. I can make out some other weirdos. Some of them had 2 wooden legs, others with fishing hook fingers. My legs won't move. Why can't I move my legs? Another beast, this time extremely tall, with what looks to be fleshy tubes connected to his face, lurches over. His mouth never closes. Just squeeze amazing, the woman demands it pick me up and introduce me to the rest of my new family. Upon closer inspection, that dead fish smell is the oil-stained ocean. Feels like there's something in my ear. I don't know, maybe an earwig. Something tickly, but I can't hear so good right now. The woman cackles loud enough, I swear I hear glass break. You don't understand why you're here, do you? You never said anything important. That's why we took your tongue. I am the queen here. If you don't know my name, you will know my power. You're to be named claustrophobia. Your body is changing. I didn't use any tools to do this either. We got the call and took you away in the night. I'm not human anymore. I wheeze and she grabs my mouth, forcing a metal cage where my tongue used to be. My scalp itches bad. But when I try to scratch, my arms break. It sounds like chopped wood. Timber splitting. You aren't a threat. If anything, this unsightly new vision of yourself. What? The hook-fingered ones wrap barbed wire, connecting my arms together. Two eyeless, mouthless, wet, sand-colored, muscle-looking men are lifting me up. The barbs are cutting into my midsection. You are now a work of art. After that, I could see a door 10 feet below me, and a room of creatures that, for all I know, used to look human. My arms dislocated to look like wings. Now you are the bitter fly claustrophobia. That's what the woman in leather told me. The end?
Open the door and they come in. So he's in charge of Halloween. I like how James's costumes are always slightly not working. Like the thing was coming down, there was none, he didn't know whether to fix it or not, like his arm got stuck in the jacket. They're always kind of thought through all the way, but they're awesomely not. That is from James's sequence called Impromptu and Costume Failures. That's from James's sequence called Angel Mountain, I believe.
Oh.
Is it? Or not? Or is this just something? Oh, who cares? Minor. Let's get that out of our. All right, let's focus.
Choosing to come to Earth, the fattest dose of psychedelic I've yet to take. Come on in, drop in. This is your Earth birth, fucking glorious. Inherit some relics, cognitive ego-derived dissonances, reptilian backbrain prefixes. But fuck, at the crux of it all are these gifts that you are bringing. This planet needs them. And you'll come to know hurts and hearses, but also hearts and horses. I'm gonna do spider because it's a full moon and yeah. Subtle spider built her own architecture. Translucence is a virtue and pattern precision makes me swoon. Once again, my dream is near the moon. Hey spider, elucidate the mysteries. Hey spider, teach me how to weave like bee, where dream is to be as I am is to me. Energy goes where awareness flows. Energy goes where awareness flows. Energy is flowing wherever attention is glowing. Step 1, know the power and strength of your visions. This brain space cathedral, check it, no motherfucking goddamn ceilings. Frolic, freestyle, fly, non-locally, quantumly high. Freak flag unfurling out across the co-creative collective consciousness sky. Step 2, optical pineal gland induction, painting your dream rose inside your mental aquarium. Brushes equipped, dipped in the higher octave glow of Venusian, Neptunian frequency rainbows. Feel your heart crimson, beating, beating. This is your dream rose, pulsing deepest emotions, and thereby seeding your most intricate designs into physical being. Step 3. You're already everything. You're already everything. Your dream is already happening. Your dream is happening. Hearts of stars and black holes, nomad planets, we are strange, wandering rogues. Subtropical twilight, my dreams are in and around the moon again. Voices pull me, all gossamer, out of body to the tree. Andromeda fallen apex of this city, floating above smog line. Coyote senses unishifting into mine. My heart beats a turquoise colored full tide when the wind against the mind stills to nothing. My atoms dripping with stars and stars, and all the stars drenched in the 4 black orbs of you and me looking. Hey, hi, hello. So nice of you to join me here. Owls flying so close, they lose soaring capabilities. Straight back into our double helixes, yes. We still got these reptilian backbrain consciousness prefixes, like I said, but we also got this 12-strand DNA opening up inside of us, and here we are at the apex heart of all wildernesses. This waking reverie in the Oregon woods restores more fully than REM sleep in the city ever did. The smell of earth fills the air. The smell of earth fills the air. The full moon saturates existence in the best possible light. Shooting stars multiple every single night. And I lie, deeply, profoundly entwined in dirt. Unafraid of mountain cats or transient hurts. Dream drifting, aboriginal time riffing between all the brainwave states. Beta, delta, alpha, theta, euphorically, mercurially clear intergalactica. Moon sets, coyote silence. Indigo seeps red. Indigo goes red, the interstellar radiance of spun light. Silken threads in falling time. All shadow forms are but extensions of the nearest star shine. And here walks the spider again, extra humanly mathematical on her gossamer line. We whisper, the morning spider, and her reply comes as a telepathic encounter. Buenos dias, mija, mijo. Do you children know you are painted with all the colors of the rainbow? One more short one. Okay. Climb inside her heart, lie down. Inside her heart, fetal curl encircled. 13 chunks throbbing in stillness. 13 throbbing on the thread where to be still and to pulsate, melt together in oneness. Goddess tree is humming, and she is also still. Sessions in the goddess tree, lessons in electromagnetic circuitry, body to bodiless, the goddess and the human, bark and skin, graphically holographic costume, branches and limbs, green leaves and human hair, pressing feet soles and hand soles into her bare bark body, hand soles, feet soles, receive left, release from the right. Receive left, release right. I, the human battery, quivering miracle. The goddess tree, she, jumper cable, connecting dead car people straight back into the Earth's electromagnetic field. Mother whispers, hello.
I think I get it. Very nice one. Last but not least, dear in our hearts, here she comes now with a book in many parts. So Karen released her shining new book. Shining new book. Shining new book on the world did Karen this week. You may acquire one from Stephen Blue or Karen, I guess. Look at that. Shining new book. Shining new book. A thing we used to read. Old OG poetry.
I think there are 80 poems in here.
80 poems. How much is it, Karen?
Well, it's $9.95.
$9.95, under $10.
Well, actually, I've been stealing the nickel off everybody. They buy it.
I got all the nickels on Saturday. Which was her reading? Knock Us Dead.
Okay. Can I have a stool? I can grab one. This one.
I got you.
A chair too. You know, I feel comfortable reading because what I do is I recite what comes out of my mouth for the first time.
I'm sure of this.
And,
Pretty high.
yeah, thank you. Chair. Yeah, it's a little high, but
Let's get your chair. I don't want to spill.
I had a fall in my improv theater class yesterday. I thought I broke my
Those
ribs.
pants. Those are hot.
Yeah, my pants. Yeah. I thought I broke my ribs yesterday.
All right, let's roll.
Yeah. Okay, this is a poem I'm gonna make up right now. Destination. Well, where am I going? I think to the west to find the sun. But it's on the other side, and I don't even know what that means. So therefore, how can I find where I'm going? East to west, what does that mean? It doesn't conclude any destination. It's part of the same journey all the time, and I suppose up and down is the same. But inside out is another matter. Inside out is a confusing path. If there is a destination there, and they say it's your heart, but that's where it starts. So really, what in the world could I mean other than to be right now who I am? I'm dissatisfied right now. For I find my faults wanting and waiting and revolving around me, extending them to you and running back to comfort of my cave and in the caverns of my brain, the vacant interlopes of time. I look and I try to find where I'm going. I have not found yet where I've been. I have no idea where I was before because I wasn't there to begin with. And many lives, I've had a few. I think I like this one the best, to be honest, and perhaps that's why I'm scared to die. And I think that time and death are hounding at my heels in circumspectual cloaks of mystery and desire. And I fabricate words because I don't know how to pronounce the truth. And I wander here and I wander there and I search whatever corner and privy I can possibly imagine under every rug and every inch of my own living space in my mind, and I just can't seem to find out who I am. Desperate. Well, I have been desperate to find out because my time is creeping very fast. I used to say like a snail on meth, but that is what I used to say. No. Well, thank you. I'm going to think the same. I find I'm not that unique, that different. And even in that perspective and that perception of myself, I find a little wonderment inside. I find a little speck of dust, which is perhaps a molecule of something. And inside there is an atom and the neutrons surrounding it. And that is just me. Well, there I am, floating around the universe, every galaxy extended like tree fingers and night terrors and everything that comes in between. And I just don't know what I want, who I am, or where I'm going. I have to be satisfied, I suppose. Because as I muse right now, I'm sharing a part of myself that I don't want to unlock, but it is naked behind me, inside me out. Tonight I dress in colorful clothes. Tomorrow I wear the sheets of transparency. And every inch between my ears, every vortex that I pretend to be, every matrix that I am, I really don't know what the fuck is going on.
And when Karen puts down the mic, the fat lady has sung, so to speak. Get the hell out of here. Go write poems. Go do something. Come back next week. Be awesome, because you are.